So here is the story of how we met in November of 2015 and we got married in April 2016. Oh, if it's your first time here, my name's Jannelle.
And I'm Daniel.
We're married.
Yay.
Yeah, and we're gonna tell you the story of how we met. Really quick before we jump into the juice of this video, Saturday, September 28th, the 5th annual Fabulously Unique Natural Hair and Beauty Expo is happening in Tampa, Florida at the Florida State Fairgrounds. Alec Naturals is flying me out to the event. There I will be hosting a Curly Girl 101 workshop. I will be participating in a blogger panel with a bunch of other bloggers and influencers. And the absolute best part is I will be there to meet all of my Tampa curl friends. If you live in the area, please come out. Would love to meet all of you, and you are not gonna wanna miss out on the live entertainment, all of the amazing shopping with 50 plus different vendors, natural hair, beauty, and wellness workshops, the sip and paint lounge, the ultimate VIP suite, plus there is a kids lounge, and a man cave. Aren't you so sad that you're not coming with me now that you know that there's a man cave?
Yeah. Why am I not coming?
Because who was gonna watch the puppies?
Oh.
And as I mentioned, the blogger panels, meet and greets, and so much more. So my Tampa curl friends, head to FABUnaturalhairexpo.com. That is FABU naturalhairexpo.com to grab your tickets. That link will also be down in the description. Yeah. We met on Tinder.
We met on Tinder. Some of you probably already know that I play poker for a living, and I was traveling to Vegas like every couple months at that time to play poker.
He was with this group of poker players from Germany for the most part, and they would travel and essentially follow like the action, like where the tournaments were at, where
and we just started being in Vegas more often. Like I would come to Vegas like at that point probably like 2 or 3 times a year.
I explained previously in that video, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it up here and it'll be in the description. I was recently out of a marriage. My divorce was final in like October. I think it was like October 20th. And we met like
end of November?
No, middle of November. I had started out on a couple dating sites like because I was avoiding Tinder. I did not want to just like, I was not looking for just a hookup at all.
As if any of the other sites are different.
Well, it's true.
Yeah,
and they were worse. They were way worse. I got on a bunch of dating sites, and like most of the emails that I got were from people that were outside of the specifics that I had requested. Like I had like 50-year-old men messaging me, and they're like, I know you requested like this age range. And I'm like, then why are you
maybe could you make an exception this time?
Yeah. So I finally got a little sick of it, and I just thought, whatever, I'm gonna try Tinder. I kept it pretty consistent that like if someone didn't ask me to like coffee or dinner, I wasn't interested. I was saying yes to a lot of people, but I was also only saying yes to people in the area. And I remember the day that I swiped. I mean, I've told you this before.
Yeah.
But I remember the day that I swiped on his profile, because I remember seeing him, and I remember like one of the shirts you were wearing, like you looked so preppy, and I thought you were cute, but I was also a little worried that you were like maybe too like clean cut for me. Do you know what I mean? It said he was from Germany, and so I was kind of like, but I had not really even at that point still had luck on Tinder, so I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna try. So I swiped, and then
I texted you.
Yeah. Texted me hi. And at first you were like, oh, let's meet up tonight, and I was like, absolutely not.
You said, I'm not leaving the comft of my couch. I think that was the exact
sounds
message.
like what I would say.
Yeah.
And then
you sent me a picture of Lola laying there on the couch.
Lola. And then you asked to come over, and I was like, no. You can take me. Not smart. And I was like, no, you can take me to coffee. And then he's like, well, I don't do coffee, like, so let's do dinner. And I was like, good, okay. And then we scheduled.
How many days later was it then when we actually met?
The next day.
Oh, nice. We met for dinner in Town Square, Las Vegas, at a restaurant called Brio, which is an Italian place. Mm-hmm. I think you were late, because you always are late.
I didn't know this was that kind of a video.
All I remember is you walking into Brio, and you were already looking confused, and like
I wasn't nervous at all to go on this date, like at all. I was kind of excited, and then like I parked, and I think I texted you to say like, oh, I'm here, and then you're like, oh, I'm sitting inside, and I was like, okay. And then I wasn't sure, I didn't have my glasses on, so that didn't help. And then as I started walking into the restaurant, I started panicking, like, Jannelle, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, you just got a divorce. Like, you have no business being on a date. Like, what are you doing here? And then I didn't realize, like, there's meters out there, and I didn't realize they're just, like, donation based. So I was asking the person at the desk.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then I see him out of the corner of my eye. I mean, it's a Monday night. It's not busy. Yeah. But it's blurry. And then you start walking towards me.
Yeah, because
I was just like...
It's a good idea to get up, first of all, to be polite and walk towards you to say hi. Yeah. And then I also thought, oh, she's going to get a good look of me and my how tall. And so I was getting up like, who's... No, I'm just kidding. But
no, you're not.
But I mean, it was definitely my intention, because I was thinking, okay, she should, see that I'm tall and handsome. Yeah. So I better get up and say hi. Yeah.
I was so relieved that you did come walking towards me, because I was like, at that point, because I was panicking, I was thinking, if I have to walk this whole way towards him and sit down, I'm going to die.
And it was also because I saw you, and I was already like thinking, because that was a very cute moment, because that was the first time I saw you, and you looked kind of like cute and confused while you were walking in the door, and I was like, oh, let me help out, be polite, and look good at the same time. So it was a triple win.
It was.
No, I caught up on Ted. You were like really nervous in the beginning.
Yeah, you flat out asked me, you're like, oh, are you nervous? And I said, yeah. And then like in one breath, I was like, yes, I'm really nervous. I just got out of a divorce. This is my first date. I haven't been on a date. I haven't dated anyone else in 6 years. Like, I just spilled it all out in one breath. And then, like, he's just sitting there, and he looks at me, and he's like, oh, this is your first date since your divorce? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
I thought it was cool. But, I guess it didn't take very long until we, like, talked about politics and religion. Oh yeah, everything.
We finished dinner, and then like, because where we had dinner, it's like this outdoor mall complex, and there was this bar called Blue Martini, and then we went up and got drinks. Once we got there, like, things kind of like, I got a little bit less nervous. And at some point we were talking, and you were telling me about your heart surgery. You're like, oh, do you want to feel it? And I was like, yeah. And you like grabbed my hand and you put it on your chest, and I was just like, like, that was the first moment I was like, oh my goodness, like, hello, you beautiful man.
I had heart surgery, and I kind of wanted everyone like immediately to know that, or point out, okay, there's something that needs to be talked about, and because I was afraid that some woman would have a problem with it even. So it was extra nice that you liked it. That we ended up dancing, actually, I was really surprised by it. It was really cool, and I remember that they played Bonnie and Clyde from Jay-Z and Beyonce, which is really cool.
Like, Jay-Z is like Danielle's like all-time favorite. I learned later that was like always like one of the songs that he thought like, okay, this will play at my wedding. I remember the DJ like shouted us out. I don't remember exactly how that played out, but he got our name, and then he was like, this song's for like Danielle and Jannelle, and we're out on the dance floor dancing, and then they play Bonnie and Clyde. So it was like,
funny. And there weren't many people there.
No, that was one of the reasons why the DJ was so interactive with us. But so it was like kind of this, like, I didn't realize it. Like, it was a cool moment for us anyways, but like, I didn't realize like how technically like romantic it was for you.
No, it was very much kind of unique moment.
We just kind of kept dating, and we actually took things like fairly slow, at least for us.
Yeah.
Because I was definitely like, I needed things to be paced, and that was another thing that I was like glad about too, is that we like really like just kind of did things like at my pace and like what we were both comfortable with. But I remember after the first time we were intimate, I remember thinking like, oh no, like, you have feelings for this person, and what's your problem? Like, you cannot have feelings, like,
what is your problem?
Yeah, what is your problem? Like, this is a fuckboy from Germany. Like, he's leaving at the end of the month, girl. Like, reel it in. You just got a divorce. Like, you're not in love. You're, like, nothing. And then as we continue to have conversations, like, all these, like, check marks were going off, right? Like, we had similar beliefs, like, spiritually, politically, things we want for the world. Our humor is the same in a regard.
Yeah, it was almost like very, how do I say that, like, we aligned in a way. Eventually I had to, it was time for me to leave Vegas again.
At the airport, I dropped him off, and what did we hug for like 15 minutes?
Yeah,
We hugged
probably.
and kissed for like 15 minutes and just kind of looked at each other, and it was so sad. And when he walked into the airport, I started crying. I was like, oh my goodness, like, I don't know if I'll see him again. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was really sad.
But then I texted you. I texted you and I just said, like, I'm really sad. Like, I wish you didn't have to leave. And that was when you said, like, I would want to be with you. Like, I think then we had finally, like, kind of, like, put our feelings out on the table that, like, it was clear to each other that we were both interested. And then we slowly but surely started to, like, connect more emotionally from there. Like, and not from, like, a, you know, because before it was just, like, getting to know each other and having fun. But now it was, like, actually, like, seeking to have, like, dialogue and, like, emotional connection together.
Yeah.
And so it kind of started off, like, with, like, text messaging. Like, we kind of followed the same pattern we had when he was in Vegas. But then slowly but surely, then we started jumping on, like, Skype calls. And, I mean, we would sit on Skype for
hours.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
I left at Christmas time, so a month later, you were coming back. I got there, like, when he was getting his bag, and, like, I think we pretty much saw each other immediately.
Yeah.
And we just, like, walked up, gave each other, like, huge hug and a kiss, and it was completely different at that point. It was...
Like, hugging you felt so, I don't know, like,
magical.
welcoming is not the right word. Like, really just warm, like we're doing something good. Like, not exciting, but
safe,
yes,
comfortable, like, right place.
Yeah, like going the right place for sure. And also remember how your sweater felt and everything.
Aww.
Yeah.
So at that point, like, Daniel was back in Vegas, and we were dating. He was gonna rent an apartment, like, which he normally does, but my mom gave us the okay for him to just stay with us. His game plan was to come to the U.S. for like 2 months, leave, and then come back in the summer for WSOP. Kind of our agreement, and, like, kind of what we decided at that point is, like, you know, we'll just date, we'll whatever, and then we'll discuss more of, like, in the summer, like, what do we want to do as far as, like, location wise. And
Right.
And then, like, the closer that got, we kept just kind of thinking of, like, having to, like, be apart and separate, and how much...
we just didn't want to be, like, didn't even want to be away from each other anymore. Like, like, I just knew, like, even though whatever, if it, I mean, of course we could have made it work and whatever, being apart 2 months, but it was just like, I don't even want to, like, risk anything.
Well, and I feel like I just genuinely didn't want to be, like, away from you. I feel like for the first time in my life, like, I felt the most present in my life that I'd ever been. We were having so much fun. So, like, the closer and closer his flight back came, the more we were just kind of like, okay, what should we do? And then at one point we kind of joked that, like, maybe we should just get married so that we can continue to date. And we kind of flirted with that idea, and it didn't really feel right for either of us. And then we had this conversation in the shower, and I just said, you know what, Daniel, like, I don't want to get married again, like, unless it's actually, like, if I'm actually getting married to someone. And so I would rather, like, if we're going to do this, let's do this. But if not, let's just wait until and see, like, if it feels right. And I remember, like, because we had that seat in the shower, and I remember you sitting on the shower, and, like, I remember you kind of getting emotional, but, like, I didn't want to draw attention to it because you weren't drawing attention to it.
Yeah.
And you were kind of like, okay, so we're gonna get married, and I was like, I mean, so yeah, so let's get married. And then you kind of got, like, tears, and you're like, okay, so I'm gonna get married.
Yeah, but also not afraid either, which I was surprised by almost.
I was always so surprised that you weren't that afraid as we, like, got closer and closer to it.
Yeah.
Do you remember the one time I was, like, crying in the room, and I was like, I'm just so scared, like, I don't want to get divorced again. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And do you remember what you told me?
I mean, I remember you in general being scared.
You were like, it was so sweet, but you were like, at some point you're going to look back and you're going to, like, laugh about the fact that you were so scared.
Yeah, and I was right.
You were right. You were so right.
To go to LA because you needed your passport for the cruise you were going to go on. We drove to Malibu and went down to the beach in Malibu, and I saw those, what are they called, sunflowers? No, not sunflowers.
Daisies.
Daisies. And I was, because I didn't really have anything planned yet how I was going to propose to her. So since I thought, wow, this is really cool. We're in Malibu, we're on the beach.
Point Dume. And it's, like, literally, like, it's a hilltop, it's a cliff. You have to, like, walk down these stairs down to the beach. It's covered in daisies. And it was kind of funny because I remember seeing him, I could see the wheels spin. I could see that he was like thinking like, all right. I could see that he was thinking like, okay, he's gonna propose. Cause like, yes, we agreed we were gonna get married, but we still wanted to have that like romantic moment. So, and I could see it all over his freaking face. But I also could see that he wanted to surprise me. So I just kind of acted like I couldn't see. And he like, he put together, well, you can tell this because it's...
Yeah, so I made a ring out of a daisy, which I don't even know if I could do that again. And I got down on my knee. I don't know if it was the right one or not, but...
I don't know if there is a right one.
I think there is.
Maybe, whatever.
And I proposed in Malibu at the beach. And she said yes. I was,
He was so nervous he wasn't sure if I was going to or not.
Yeah.
It's funny.
But it was very romantic.
It was so romantic. Oh, it even makes me kind of, I should...
Regret?
It was such a cool moment.
Yeah. It was kind of perfect. And for our actual wedding, we recreated our date and
our first date that we told you about. So what we did is we ate at the restaurant and then we went to the Las Vegas sign. So we got married in front of the Las Vegas sign and then
went back
at midnight right on 410, and then we went back and we went to Blue Martini and we had a couple shots of tequila and we danced and then we went home.
Yeah. Married.
Yep.
And I carried you over the thing, right?
Over the threshold?
Yeah. So
I forgot about that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I did that.
Oh my goodness. I would have never remembered that.
And that's how we met.
All the stars aligned.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks for watching. If you want to find the right partner too, you have to click the thumbs up button, then it's gonna happen. And subscribe.
Yeah, and turn on post notifications. If you don't turn on notifications, how are you gonna know?
Yeah, then you're probably gonna get divorced if you don't hit the post notifications.
That's not a nice thing to wish on someone.
I mean, it's just like you just want to increase your chances, right?
I mean, that like he's got a point. All right, love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Very regularly. And I'm from Germany. Did I already say that?
Stop picking your nose.
I'm not picking my nose.
Looks like it.
This is how we met.
This is how we met.
Swipe left.
No, yours is.
Oh no, you have to swipe right.
Yeah.